won't back down.
Richard Sherman won't be with us tomorrow, Friday. He'll be back for Monday's show. So let's get Richard's AFC Championship game prediction on the record.
Love it.
Richard, who advances to the Super Bowl, Chiefs or Ravens?
Well, I think this is going to be a great game, Skip. I think the offenses obviously are going to figure it out, but these are two great defenses that are going to find a way to get stops late in the game. I think it's going to be tied up late in this game, and Patrick Mahomes is going to have the football, and he's going to do what Patrick Mahomes somehow always does in the playoffs and drive his team down the field for a game-winning field goal. I got the Chiefs winning 27-24.
27-24, says Richard Sherman.
That's it.
Keyshawn.
Well, it's all good. It's Lamar's time, Skip. It really, truly is Lamar's time. Now, whether or not he wins the Super Bowl, I have no idea at this moment in time. I think he advances, though, to the AFC Championship game. And I understand what Richard is saying. Richard felt that on the other end against the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. So he has firsthand knowledge about having Patrick Mahomes come back and do what he needs to do.
Yes, I do.
But in this situation, I just feel like it's Lamar's time. Like, it's his time. It's his arrival. It's almost like Patrick Mahomes is going to hand him the keys to the AFC for this year. Say, hey, man, I got a new car. Why don't you drive it while I go chill? That's what it feels like, just based on the body of work and the way that Lamar has performed this year, and especially the way he performed in the second half of the playoffs. When you look at his numbers in the playoffs and his efficiency and everything that he didn't have gaudy 500 yards throwing the football, but it was nice, 200-plus total yards and 4 touchdowns and no turnovers. To me, it just feels like Kansas City, not in Kansas City, but in Baltimore, that they're going to lose this game 31-27, and that's going to be Lamar going to the Super Bowl, and everybody will be happy. They'll get off his back about what type of quarterback he is and all of those sort of things. People will learn to appreciate him after this. I guess you would call it, even though they're favored, an upset win because it's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. All right. So I will be the first to admit I was wrong about the Dallas Cowboys because I've been wrong about the Dallas Cowboys for 28 straight years. So you got me on that one.
Yep.
But before the year started, I did pick the Ravens over the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I stuck with it all year because, to me, the Ravens have been the best team from start to finish this year, as I thought they proved on Christmas night once again at San Francisco. So I'm sticking with my prediction. Ravens win it all. And all they have is the #1 defense in points allowed. They are #1 in takeaways. They are #1 in sacks. Patrick Mahomes is going to be up against it. And it also sounds like, I know it's still, we're too far away to really know what the weather's going to be able to really nail it down. But the long-term projections are it's going to rain during this game on Sunday at Baltimore. Not a cold weather game because the high is going to be 48. So it's going to be rainy, or if not raining. And I don't know how Pat throws the football with the wet football. I don't know if it's going to bother him or not. I don't think it will bother Lamar as much because Lamar can resort to using his legs when necessary. So I think Patrick's going to have a long, hard day. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. I just think that Baltimore will prevail fairly convincingly. I'm going to call it 30-20 because I just think they have been the best team. They love playing better teams. Remember what happened when Detroit went to Baltimore? They just destroyed Detroit. In the first half, it was over by halftime. So I'm definitely going Lamar over Patrick. And Richard, I would request with you a dinner bet on this game.
I'll 100% take that. Can we write it? Can somebody take note of this? Because I don't want Skip saying the next day that he didn't make a dinner bet and he didn't.
No, I proposed it. You have to actually propose it and accept it.
That's what I did. That's what I've done. And then you go the next day and say you didn't do it. But I accept Skip's dinner bet as he proposed. I believe that you're underestimating, and I hear Keyshawn about...
What about Keyshawn?
I hear what Keyshawn's saying about Lamar's efficiency in this last game. He was really efficient. He played well. Patrick Mahomes was also very efficient.
Yeah.
He had a 91.1.
Against a defense that was using third-string dudes.
I understand. I've seen Patrick Mahomes play the #1 defense in the land in back-to-back, or in 2 Super Bowls. 2 of his 3 Super Bowls played the #1 defense and played very well. And I just don't see that changing. Regardless of the situation, they have one of the best interior offensive lines in the National Football League. They have 2 of the best guards in the center. So if they have to run the ball, if there has to be one of those games, I'm sure they can run that. Isaiah Pacheco runs like somebody who didn't have a lot growing up. And he runs like he's frustrated at the world. And they do have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He runs the ball well. They will find a way to get it. And again, Patrick Mahomes can do it with his legs just like Lamar can. I mean, obviously a different way. But I don't see the rain changing Patrick Mahomes and saying, oh, man, we're not going to throw the ball, because they've done that. They've had situations where it's snowing or rain, and they've still thrown the ball. And so
both teams are bad weather teams.
Right. So I don't see that being a factor that Skip is saying, oh, it may affect Patrick more than it affects Lamar. I think both of them thrive regardless of situation. I think you're underestimating Kansas City's defense in Spags. I think they have had they are #2 in yards.
I love Spags. I love Spags, and he's done a tremendous job at times calling the defense. But he's also done an horrific job, and you look at it and you sometimes go, man, why would you call that? Why would you put these corners in this situation, off coverage, blitz zero, you bringing the house in situations and leaving guys out on islands all by themselves? I've seen that too. I understand his defense is playing better, but I've seen Spags give up the goods on the defensive side. And the one thing about Todd Monken and company is they do a good job of utilizing Zay Flowers, almost called him Zay Jones, but Zay Flowers, in many different ways of moving him in formations, getting him the football in the slot, putting him on the outside perimeter, getting him the football. And then there's the X factor in OBJ that everybody seems to keep forgetting. Every game, he makes 1 or 2 nice plays where that light seems to be coming back on. His health seems to be getting there to a point where you look at him and you say, okay, so you only got 1 or 2 corners, but you got a number. And Mark Andrews is supposed to come back, I believe, in this game. Skip, correct me if I'm wrong. You only got Snead. You only got Snead at the corner. He only could guard one person. There's only Richard Sherman. There's only one person. I got a whole bunch of little weapons that I can play with.
Safety. They got good players. They got good
players. But when we're talking about the matchups, I think the offensive side of the ball for Baltimore at the skill positions are a little greater than the defensive skill positions on Kansas City side. That's just...
I would disagree. I would say Odell has the potential and the capacity to be one of the best receivers in the National Football League. We've seen that over the past. He just hasn't been healthy and hasn't looked 100% this year. And when he does, he looks very explosive. But I think you're underestimating this defense. They're #2 in the land. Baltimore's 1 and deserves all the credit in the world. But they're the #2 defense, and they are #2 in a number of categories for a reason. Chris Jones is a heck of a factor. George Karlaftis has had a really good season. They have guys that can get there and guys that have played in big games consistently. And then offensively, we talk about guys that have had drops throughout the year. They have drop. And then you look last week, and all of a sudden, Valdez-Scantling can catch the ball. He catches an incredible pass over the shoulder. He catches one down the seam. And then all of a sudden, Travis Kelce looks like Travis Kelce again. He has 2 touchdowns, and he could have had 3. Patrick Mahomes missed him early on. But you have guys that have been in these situations before. They have called big games. Todd Monken has never called a game in this situation. Andy Reid is one of the best play callers in the National Football League and is in this situation literally every year. So it's not going to be a big moment for him. He's going to draw up some stuff that they have not seen, and he's going to call a great game. Now, is that going to be good enough to win? We'll see.
I haven't had a steak in a long time, Richard.
You want to throw something on it?
I want to throw something on Lamar winning the MVP. Can I get a stake on that?
You can't get a stake on that. You can get a stake on this game. You want to bet he win this game?
I don't want to get a stake on the game. You already got one with him. I'm just talking about the MVP.
No. I want one on this game.
Why you don't want the MVP?
I want one on this game. Because we sitting there talking about the game. You try to change it up.
No, I'm not. I just wanted to know about the MVP. Could I get a stake on the MVP?
Do you want a stake on the game? I take a steak on the game.
I'm not taking a steak on the game.
Well, I'm not steak.
You already got one with Skip.
Well, I go to crustaceans and get, you know what I mean? I might get 2 meals and then just eat one later. I don't know.
He's scared to take it.
That's not, it's not a fair bet. But look.
Well, it really
okay, so
isn't. But he told me yesterday, he told me yesterday on the sidebar that it was going to be a split vote between Christian McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson.
That would still lose me the bet.
No, it wouldn't.
Like co-winners?
Yeah,
no, that would win you the bet.
Yeah, it would win you the bet.
No, it wouldn't, because
that means Lamar. That means Lamar. No, I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't trick you like that.
You would.
Okay, I'll make it even better for you. Outright, he wins the MVP.
Okay, I'll take that.
Good.
There we go.
As Skip would say,
really?
Good.
Can I get one? Can I get one on the game now?
No, I'm not giving you one on the game.
But you believe that Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl? You believed it all year.
I'm not giving you one on the game.
But you believed this all year, and it's about to come to fruition. Just give me the bet on the game. Bet against Patrick Mahomes real quick.
No. I'm already betting against him by picking the Ravens.
Richard, can I get a second dinner on this game? Can we do 2 dinners?
Just give me some. Give me some. Skip, I'll take a second one.
Kick him while he down, Skip.
Thank you.
Down. I will take a second dinner.
Okay.
And while it's happening, I'm gonna send you my order while the game's going on. I'm like, well, could you just
Really?
order
You're going to
this?
send my... Okay, all right. Okay, so, Richard, I got a question. So you made a case, for the last, month, 6 weeks, that Lamar should not be the MVP because he doesn't have MVP caliber stats historically. And you made a good case, a valid case. And you also made a valid case for Christian McCaffrey because his numbers are sensational. I give you that. But Lamar is about the eye test this year that I thought from start to finish, it was the whole year belonged to him because he became the driving force of the Ravens. He's the backbone of the Ravens. He's obviously the leader of the Ravens. He's the playmaker of the Ravens. And a microcosm was what he did to Houston, especially in the second half, where he took the game over without spectacular stats. Because he threw for 152, but he ran for 100, and he got it in the end zone twice throwing it and twice running it. Mm-hmm. And that's the essence of how he played football all year long. So my question to you is, are you betting against Lamar just because you dug in with your MVP case against Lamar?
I'm betting against Lamar because I've only seen Patrick Mahomes lose in the playoffs to Burrow and Brady. I've only seen him lose one Super Bowl. He's been to 3. I've seen him lose an AFC championship game to Burrow. I've seen him lose to Brady in the AFC championship. I've not seen anybody else send him home with a loss. And so it's not about Lamar. It's about Patrick Mahomes has found a way to win these games regardless of situation, regardless of what's going on, except for those people. And so it's going to take Lamar to send him home. It's going to take a Herculean effort to send him home, which usually takes Brady. You remember when Brady